The Red Hydrogen 1 has been available for a week or two now, and I gave my initial impressions video a few weeks ago, and I'm just going to give my final thoughts on the phone right now. So, I said this in my first video about this phone. It has a very unique design. It has like curvy edges, and it has all types of materials along the back like carbon fiber, therefore no wireless charging if that is a problem for you. There is a headphone jack, so maybe if you're looking for a phone with a headphone jack, this one has one. And the camera has been probably the most disappointing thing, because people were expecting this camera to be as good as like the Red cameras, but Red did not make the lenses on this phone, so therefore it is not going to be nearly as good as those cinema cameras. So that could be disappointing for a lot of people. Another thing that bugs me about this phone is that it has last year's specs. It has the Snapdragon 835, 128 gigabytes of storage, 6 gigabytes of RAM, and I mean, those are last year's specs, but they are still kind of up there, and it does have a 4500 milliamp hour battery, so this phone could last you pretty long with one charge. And now I'm going to get into a few things that I didn't really touch on in my first video about this phone, and the first thing is going to be the holographic video thing. So this may be kind of hard to explain, but essentially it's like watching 3D video on your phone. So when you're like watching video or something, it will kind of like pop out at you. That's why it's called holographic video. And to me, this feature like doesn't really add anything too much to the phone. It's just kind of like, hey, I have this holographic video thing, you want to see it? And it's cool for a few seconds, but then it just kind of gets old. Another thing I didn't really touch on in the other video is that you can put like interchangeable lenses on the camera, and you can also attach things to the back of the phone like we see with a lot of Motorola phones. Like you can attach an extra battery, not that you'll necessarily need one with that 4500 milliamp hour one, but it's there if you need it, and you can just add a few more features onto the phone if you want to. But here is my biggest problem with this phone: the price. This phone comes in at $1,300, and at this price point it's really just not worth it. Like, you could get so much better phones like the XS Max, even just like the regular XS, or you could get the Note 9, the S9 Plus. There are just so many better phones out there that you could get besides this phone for the same or even less price. Like, $1,300 is just a little ridiculous for this phone, and I would say that it's just not worth it. Anyway, that is all I have for today's video, and I will see you all in the next one.